Very interesting. Mark Lowen, thank you very much. So how important are labour costs and labour flexibility to running a big business? Well, I'm joined now by Zeinal BBC, the Chief Executive of PT Portugal, Portugal's biggest phone operator, and of course Chief Executive of Oi in Brazil, the mobile phone company. I mean, it's really interesting, isn't it, to hear the problems that we're seeing in Greece and in Germany in terms of the labour force and labour flexibility. Have you encountered those kind of problems?
Labor costs are very important, especially in the telecoms industry. So if you think about addressable costs that we can actually reduce, they could represent about a third. Let me bring another topic into this discussion, which is it's important to focus on the productivity. So I think to narrow down the discussion on minimum wage and how much we're paying to people, I think becomes secondary, because you could potentially pay people pretty well and they could produce a hell of a lot. So we get to focus a lot on unit costs, because I think that's what actually makes the big difference long term in terms of the sustainability of the business model.
And of course you see so many different situations in different countries and different economic models as well, like for example in Portugal or in Brazil. In Portugal, for example, allow me to say, we have a workforce that's usually very well skilled, multi-skilled, which makes a big difference. People speak various languages, and they're very mobile in the sense that they are prepared to move where there's work to be done. In Brazil, likewise, I think you find that there are people that will actually move from state to state seeking for better jobs. And I think ultimately the name of the game is that if we can lower those unit costs, increase productivity, then I think we can bring prices down and make sure that, for example, in our case, we sell technology, we can make it affordable, so we can actually drive down those services at the bottom of the pyramid, where I think we will ultimately make a big difference. It's really interesting what you've been doing with your company, because I've been reading about it, and you've investing £90 million, if I've got this correct, in convergence technology. Explain to us exactly what that is.
If you take Portugal, we started 5 years ago a journey whereby we transformed the culture of the company and the business model and the technology. By business model, I mean we were essentially selling landlines, and now we actually sell television. So we've become an entertainment company as opposed to a telecoms company. If you think about, for example, technology, we've gone from having copper to having fiber to the home, and now we're investing in a new data center, which is where we will warehouse a lot of this digital information.
Is there a market for that, do you think? Will there be a market for that in the future as people want to save more and more data?
I think you and I know that we use a number of services. Or most of our information today is digital, and it's nothing to do with age. I think 96% of the population is actually using more digital services. Now that info has to be stored somewhere safely. We also have to make sure that people have connectivity so that they can access that information on the move anywhere in the world with speed. So I have no doubts in my mind that we are facing a data tsunami, and for that data tsunami that we are facing, we need to make sure we have storage and we have processing capacity.
Okay, Zeinal BBC, Chief Executive of PT Portugal, very good of you to come in and talk to us. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me.